G'day.
Hello there.
I'm Aussie Robbo.
I'm English Jen.
And today we are visiting a mound.
Yeah, so this is the infamous mound. So welcome back to the channel. If you're a new visitor here, thanks for joining us. Today we're taking the chance and coming to visit the Mound, which is Westminster Council's scheme to get people back into the West End. So it's based at Marble Arch and it's been given rather poor reviews on opening in late July, has since been closed and has now opened up for free because they were charging before. So we decided to come in and take a look and see if it is the car crash that people are saying on social media and give our own thoughts.
Okay, so as Darren just said, it is free at the moment. The price was about £4.50 when you had to pay for it. The way you book is you can go online and just go on the website and it won't charge you even though it says there's a price to go in there. I believe that's till the end of the month, so it's free till the end of the month, and then I believe they'll probably start charging again after that. So we haven't quite made it to the top yet, but what are your thoughts so far? We're 80% of the way to the top.
Only 80%. Yeah, it's a bit of a climb, so that's something to bear in mind if you are visiting, whether you're paying later in the year as they propose, or if you're getting it for free in August. So it goes up about 25 metres, so you've got to think about that. If there's no lift that I know of, I don't think they have time or the money or the budget to do that. So I don't know how it would work from mobility-wise. I'm not struggling, I'm taking my time. There's plenty of platforms on the way up for you to have a little break and a breather, but it's not too bad.
Something you noticed actually was that under your feet it feels like it kind of has a little bounce, you might want to say.
So I'm holding on rather tight because I feel rather, yeah.
What? So you feel a little bit unsafe based on the way the floor is bouncy, I guess? Is that what you're saying?
It's like a thin metal, it feels like a thin metal bouncy grate, and they're all little sort of slats, and between all the steps you can see all the scaffolding that's holding you up.
What is a little surprising is that there's only one way up and one way down. It's the same stairwell. And then you would have thought, I guess especially with COVID at these times, they would have done separate stairs for one way up and then one way down, but no, it's basically the same stairway.
Yeah, so Rob and myself are a little bit squeaky bum when it comes to heights, especially on scaffolding. So yeah, it's for me it's a bit of a grip the metal with all of your might. It's a sheer drop down one side, then it's a gradual slope on the other side. I think I prefer the other side. Also seems a bit weird that they've made the most popular corner for sunsets the smallest part to actually get into. It's Hyde Park.
And have you got a good view of Hyde Park?
Not really.
Why not?
There's a thing called summer and foliage. So yeah, they designed, the idea was when they designed it was you were supposed to be able to see over the treetops. Yeah, 25 metres doesn't quite cut it in the summer because there's something called growth.
I feel like we're quite higher up than I expected to be. I didn't think it'd be this high, but at the same time I feel like I can't see that much. But then I guess the whole park is full of trees. You got a few buildings over that way, nice sunset.
Park full of trees? You can see the Shard.
You got Oxford Road down there.
Oxford Street.
Oxford Street. So we actually did book for yesterday as well, but it was raining the whole entire day almost.
Yes.
So
somebody was in town.
and you got soaked.
Yeah.
So it was kind of a good idea that we rebooked for today as well. It was fairly easy to get tickets last night, so it's not really booked up at the moment, which is quite good.
No, I checked this afternoon as well, and there's still tickets this afternoon. So
For this evening?
yeah,
Okay, that's good.
then it's not very popular.
So we just got down, we've all finished, and I guess it's time to give our evaluation. So what do you think, Darren?
So initially I thought the worst. It isn't exactly the prettiest of things as you approach. What the architects had the idea for, and in the sort of the drawings and the etchings and the beautiful illustrations, doesn't quite equate to what you get. That said, there's no growth, so he's got to wait for the growth to kick in for the trees and the shrubs. I get that, but there is definitely a war zone kind of vibe going around the edges of the actual mound itself. But as a gradual climb and a view, it was kind of nice. I don't know whether I'd pay money for it. There's some nice little start-off points, you get some nice breezes, there's a nice view, but it's not the view that was promised or sort of expected when they sort of first envisioned it. So I'm not sure how it's going to work for the rest of the year. Obviously foliage is going to remove itself over the next few months as autumn and winter turn up, so I would definitely like to come back again. If it was about £4.50, £4, I'd happily pay that, I think, just for a decent view and like a half hour to an hour just sort of like taking in views. We got here for, what time was it, about 7:30, 7:45?
7:30, yeah.
Yeah, 7:30, and we stayed up there until 8:10 nearly. Well, let's say 8. And we had plenty of time and plenty of space to look around, and we got to see the sun going down, which was lovely. It's nice to see London from a different angle, but yeah, I would recommend it as a freebie.
Yeah, so overall, having done it, I enjoyed it more than I expected to, that's for sure. It goes higher than I expected. So I'm not a big fan of heights, and it's a weird one. It's quite stable. It's not moving or swaying at all, but there is a small sense of, with the flexibility in the floor,
Bouncy.
it is quite a little bouncy, and there is that element of will it all topple in. You get some good views. It's high enough. You don't see that much of London.
So as I mentioned earlier on, I was kind of concerned going up because I struggle sometimes with steps and continuous steps. There are many break points, but I did think about people who can't even walk. There is actually a lift up there. We never saw it actually functioning, so who knows if it is actually still working at this point or if it's something in progress. But that is something to consider if you've got mobility issues, is actually getting up and down the actual mound itself, because part of the fun is actually going up the stairs and seeing the views. So I would say if you've got mobility issues, maybe not spend so much time here, because you'll literally be up a lift and down a lift and that's it.
So yeah, there is a light exhibition, and I've seen the pictures of the light exhibition, and I thought it was actually open, but it's not apparently. And also when I asked the guy, he said there's some sort of food thing going on, and I think Marks and Spencer's are doing a cafe or something down there. So I would actually like to come back, especially for the light exhibition as well. Yeah, and I guess I wouldn't mind paying £4.50 for it, just to check it out. So we did see a staircase at the top that was roped off, and one you would assume that's the staircase that's going to go down into the exhibition, I guess, and where all the food was as well.
So in summary, yeah, it's worth a visit if you've got good mobility. If it's free, sure. If you go at a particular time of day like sunset or earlier in the day when the sun's quite low, it makes London look really pretty, and yeah, it's a nice breeze up there. I don't know whether I'd be able to cope if it was a really, really hot day like it has been in London in the last few weeks, and certainly not in bad weather because there's no cover up there. So if it's chucking it down, I don't know how you go on. I'm glad we didn't come yesterday, because we would have been I actually don't even know if it had been open yesterday. If the rain had been doing what it was doing, it would have been like a waterfall. I will admit it was very squeaky bum time walking up and down at certain points. Some of the platforms are quite bouncy, and you can see right below you all the scaffolding and the darkness of 25 meters below. So that is something to consider as well. But yeah, overall I enjoyed it. It was worth coming out for us. We live locally. I enjoyed it as a evening before dinner, taking in the summer breeze and a view.
Overall, is it London's worst attraction? I don't think so. Is it value for money for the council who've paid 2 million or so? Not sure it's worth that. Will they get value for money? Well, they've lost a month out of the funds anyway for not getting tickets. I think it's decent for being free. I wouldn't make a special trip just to go see this, I've got to be honest with you. But if you're in London, central London, and you're doing some shopping or you're getting something to eat, and you fancy seeing something a little different, yeah, give it a try. You can always say that you went on London's worst attraction, and I actually wouldn't mind coming back and visiting in a month or two when it gets a bit cooler and the sun's going down earlier, and you get some nice sunsets and get some more photos, I guess.
So yeah, that's our visit to London's The Mound. The Mound. Let us know if you've been in this next month. So if you've taken in some unconventional views of London's skyline, let us know down below. We'd love to know. We're not talking Shard, we're not talking Sky Garden. We want your different ones, your bars, your restaurants, I'm stood on the top of a chimney kind of views. We'd love to know if there's any alternative ones out there in London. This has definitely been a slight alternative. So thanks for joining us. If you're new, don't forget to like and subscribe, and you can also catch us on Instagram and Twitter. Robbo and Gent on Twitter, and Aussie Robbo and the English Gent on Instagram. And thanks again.
Thanks for watching.
Bye-bye.
Bye. We are visiting a mound.
Yeah, so we're at... And... and... stand. Excuse me, London? Excuse me?
So Darren, what's behind me?
Oh. Look at the view. We'd love to hear what your thoughts are, or if you've got any ideas of better views of London, let us know down there. Can I go to Disney Store? Is that still open?